we are an advice, capital and asset management business. We currently look after about $1.9 billion for our clients. We are an ASX-listed business as well.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to our executive interview series. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Simon Madder, the Managing Director and Chairman, who's built Prime Financial Group into a multi-service financial powerhouse over the past 25 years. From startup to now ASX listing, Simon's got some serious growth ambitions ahead, including a bold target to hit $100 million in revenue. And we are ready to dive deep into this conversation. Simon, thanks for joining me in our conversation today.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me, Rhythm. I'm looking forward to it.
Likewise. Now, Simon, let's start with the big picture. For our audience who don't know about Prime Financial yet, so let's start there. Can you tell us about your company, where you're at right now, your culture, and where you're heading and why?
Yeah, fantastic. So Prime's a business that's now been around for about 27 years, and we started the business with a really simple philosophy, which was around connected advice experiences. And today we are an advice, capital and asset management business. We currently look after about $1.9 billion for our clients. And our clients are really business owners, medium-sized business owners and high net worth investors. And we really pride ourselves on being able to deliver investments, insights, and advice to help to empower them to achieve their objectives. Given that sort of history and that background of our firm and where we're at today, we've now got 225 dedicated team members that own half of the business. As you said, we are an ASX-listed business as well, and very much on a strong growth trajectory. We've undertaken 4 acquisitions in the last 3 years, and we continue to build out really pretty much everything that we need to do to be able to be that one destination for those ideal clients I mentioned before. So in terms of being at this current position and very much growth orientated, we do see that stepping up to 100 million of revenue from our current 55 million of continuous revenue is not a big jump for us. And I think that we can get there by FY28 to FY30. Obviously, there's lots of different things that we think about in terms of that growth. M&A will be a considerable part of that as we sort of move forward. But making sure that we continue with that business owner mindset for all of our team. Almost half of our team now have equity in the business. But keeping that as a cornerstone philosophy, because we do believe that when you own part of the business that you're helping to co-create, you can drive better outcomes, and we can really assimilate with our ideal clients as well. So we're at an exciting inflection point across accounting, wealth management, SMSF, and asset management, which are really the 4 key things that we do.
Amazing. That's really wonderful, Simon. Now, I can hear in your conversation that you are sounding quite confident about achieving the $100 million revenue. So, can you share more about that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the history is helpful when you're thinking about what the future might look like. And 3 years ago, we set ourselves a goal to be able to increase our revenue at that point in time from 26 million to 50 million, so doubling that revenue in a 3-year period of time. And we're able to achieve that with that 55 million of continuous revenue in FY25. So we've been able to do it in the past, and arguably it was probably a little bit more difficult in the past than what it might be in the future, because there's a lot more infrastructure that you needed to build and put in place, including around our shared services model, which has got 34 team members in it, that really allows us to be able to do all the marketing, the operations, the business development, the growth, the finance that is required in order to continue to execute on the growth trajectory. So I guess with that history and that background, what I consider is a wonderful team that are really engaged in the future. I really think that we can do this. Look, everything's a bit of a stretch, but I think we can get there quite easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely the points that you've raised over here that completely makes sense now. Now, Simon, speaking of performance, your EBITDA was up strongly in the recent results. Can you tell us what was the main driver behind that improvement?
Yeah, so it was great to have the revenue growth of 21% for the last 12 months, but unless it's dropping to the bottom line, it's probably less relevant than it could or should be. So that 17% increase in underlying EBITDA was really important for us. Uh, if you were to break that 21% revenue growth down, about a third of that came from organic growth, and about two-thirds came from the businesses that we have recently acquired. Importantly, we undertook our largest acquisition that we've undertaken in really the last 3 years in May this year, and that was a business with 3,300 high net worth investors in it, around about 600 million of funds under management, and circa sort of $10 million of revenue. So that's the largest acquisition we've done. They've typically been 3 to 4 million in revenue, and we're definitely stepping up in terms of the size of businesses that we're acquiring and integrating into our firm. So it was encouraging to have that nice blend of organic growth from existing operations and services, but to have that complemented by that strong two-thirds that was coming from acquisition as well.
Absolutely. So it definitely sounds like you've got multiple levers that are working in your favor over there. Now, Simon, with that kind of financial momentum and looking at your $100 million revenue target, I imagine your growth strategy also becomes crucial. You've touched upon it that you have an appetite for future M&A, but can you dive deeper into further like how is M&A a part of that growth plan?
Yeah, so in terms of kind of continuing that positive momentum from circa 55 million to 100 million, we benefit by virtue of having quite a broad business because to go back one step, we are wanting to make sure that we can surround our clients with all of what they need across their business and investment needs. So that means that the palette from which we can choose from an acquisition point of view is broader than perhaps what some of our competitors can. So we're looking at acquisitions across wealth management, SMSF, asset management, and also accounting as well. And when we think about that growth from 55 through to 100 mil, we think that about two-thirds to three-quarters of that growth in revenue will come via acquisition, and around about a third to 25% will come from organic growth. And I think really, if we are doing our job well, we start to actually feed each one of the divisions by virtue of offering multiple services to our clients. And that helps to drive the organic growth piece even more. So importantly, if the client is at the center of what we're thinking about, and we have this mindset of one connected team and one connected service stack, which we do, then we can keep growing organically by offering more to our existing customers. And then whatever we're buying should be complementary. It should be consolidating what we've already got or bringing in additional capability that allows us to do even more for our clients. And again, if I go back to the transaction we completed in May, which was Lincoln Indicators with 10 million of revenue and 3,300 high net worth clients, there's a fantastic opportunity for us to offer a lot more to that existing customer base, and they have things that we can offer to our existing customer base as well. So it's exciting. We're pretty considered about how we acquire, and it is very much led by the people piece and the service stack. So yeah, I think there's a step and repeat from what we've done in the past that we can keep doing more of to continue to grow the business.
Absolutely. And M&A can be such a powerful accelerator when it is done right. Now, it sounds like you have an interesting balance over there between your organic and inorganic growth. Can you tell us what exactly the M&A landscape looks like for Prime Financial? Are you seeing many opportunities out there?
Yeah, I was actually before coming into this conversation, I was actually just chatting to our head of M&A, and we've got conversations taking place across the whole spectrum of what we do. And what we're really looking for is that people and service stack fit. So because we do have that more multi-dimension, and I think that was a well-worded way to put it together that you mentioned, because we are multidisciplinary with what we do, we can actually choose from that broader palette. So we would have at the moment anywhere between 30 to 60 conversations taking place at different stages of discussion. Even this morning, there's probably two new opportunities that have come up. And it's great when you start to get your existing team identifying things that they might need to offer a more complete service to the clients, and actually introducing you to businesses they think would be a good fit. And that's happened just in the last week a couple of different times. So I'm not concerned about the number of conversations that we need to have in order to execute on the vision, but it's the quality of the conversations, the people fit that is really important. Because just as we think about M&A, we want to make sure that whatever businesses that we're bringing in, integrating, acquiring, merging, we want to make sure that we keep that business owner mindset. And so when we do acquire businesses, anywhere between 20 to 50% of the consideration is via shares in Prime. So we keep that business owner mindset going into the future. So it's more competitive in some areas where we're looking than others. But if valuation multiples step up too much, we'll just apply our capital in other areas or reprioritize accordingly. We don't tend to overbid for assets. We look for the fit because if we get that right, we'll grow value by being shareholders in the business.
Absolutely, that makes sense. Now, Simon, one thing that came up in my mind was that M&A can also bring its challenges as well. So, are you able to share with our audience if there are any challenges you're facing, or would you say that it's a smooth journey so far?
Look, I think it's always going to have challenges. Like, there's the, I guess, two-sided equation of challenge and opportunity. But I don't get terribly concerned because we are often dealing with people that we've known for a while in terms of M&A. And I think that helps to streamline discussions. There's already an embedded trust. It's such a big decision for someone to make to decide to merge their business in, or if we're obviously acquiring as well. And so there's a huge amount of consideration around that founder mindset and continuing that on for the future. So I think if I kept coming back to probably one key point, if you get the people piece right and there's alignment around that, then you encounter fewer challenges. If you've got a group of people on both sides of the equation that have more of a growth mindset and are willing to shift a little bit, then you can typically find the right pathway forward. And I think being really explicit about how you see the future playing out and how your model operates to get the best and right outcome means that people don't come in ill informed. And probably the final point is we've got to continue to have the humility to consider different way of doing things. So when we see great things, it's as much about adopting how the business that might have been acquired, how we actually think about doing it their way as opposed to our current way. So it's never simple. There's always things that you don't expect, but if you've got the right culture and the right people, you can get the systems and the processes and the technology to ultimately work as well as you'd like. But get the people piece right, and most of the things work out well.
Absolutely, that's very well said, Simon. Now, before we wrap up our conversation today, I'd love to get your perspective on two things. Firstly, what are you most proud of? What's the vision that you see for Prime Financial moving forward?
Yeah, so I think in terms of pride, I do take a lot of pride in the longevity of our business and the fact that I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to start a business 27 years ago. And that was in partnership with my father, and to have that background and that heritage is fantastic, but also to make sure that the team that have come on that journey are owners in the business that they're helping to build and to co-create for the future. So really proud around the ownership mindset and the fact that over 27 years we've been able to navigate our way through lots of different markets, COVID, lots of different things that have occurred, and we've been a really resilient business, which I think has got a great culture that can allow us to continue to accelerate. And we love financial services and professional services, love looking after clients and seeing them achieve their aspirations. So yeah, really proud that there's 225 dedicated team members that choose to turn up every day and do something a little bit better. And that's something that we're equally also excited for the future as well. We really believe there are uncapped opportunities, and if you empower your people, you can achieve some pretty amazing outcomes. So that's what we're excited about. That's what we're proud of. And it is a privilege to do what we do.
Absolutely, and it's a privilege for us to be working continuously with you. Now, to our viewers, that was Simon Madder from Prime Financial. You've heard everything and from him, and some wonderful insights that we shared today. So if you want to get in touch with the team at Prime Financial, you'll see the details at the side of the screen or in the description of this video. Once again, thank you, Simon. Your insights really captured both the journey that you've been on and the exciting road that you have ahead for Prime Financial. And our team at Wholesale Investor always wishes you the best of luck, and we hope we can be part of your journey moving forward as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rhythm, for your time and for the support of Wholesale Investor. It means a lot to us.
Absolutely. Likewise. Thank you, Simon.
Cheers.